Hello and welcome members and guests of the University Prep community. This is a really exciting evening and I can't believe we actually have people in the upper deck. This is impressive turnout. Very good. I'm Jennifer Zell and I'm the president of the UPrep Board of Trustees. It's my privilege to welcome you tonight to this beautiful venue to celebrate the class of 2023. While this night has very little to do with me, I almost feel like I'm graduating too, luckily without having to do all of the work that you guys did. After 11 years as a member of this community, this is my last year as a UPrep parent. While I'm sad to see this chapter end, you can imagine that this class is extra special to me. I've known some of them since kindergarten and many since 6th grade. I enjoyed being part of your journey, and I'm confident that today is the start of wonderful adventures for all of you. So on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I congratulate you on all that you have accomplished. I wish you the best in your future endeavors, and I hope that you will stay connected to UPrep and remember the special years you shared together as Pumas. Now to get the main event started, I'd like to introduce Ronnie Codrington-Cazeau, UPrep's head of school.
Well, welcome to the graduating exercises for the class of 2023. First, a warm welcome to all of the parents and guardians in this room who have celebrated your successes, supported your tears, and believed in your vision for the last 4 years. Remember, parents and guardians, as Jonas Salk, an alum UPrep grandparent, once said, good parents give their children roots and wings. Roots to know where home is, wings to fly away, and exercise what's been taught them. We all believed you, our graduates, would get here, even if you may have doubted at times. And here you are, ready to go off into a world that is waiting for you to bring the change it so desperately needs. This evening, we celebrate you. This is a class of leaders and trendsetters. This class pushed me to bring back UPrep traditions that make our school UPrep. They returned some of the unpredictability and anxiousness for administrators with their senior prank. They pushed for press freedom, making us one of the first private schools in the country to have a signed policy in place. They showed up for each other at sporting events, concerts, plays, debate, and mock trial competitions. For 3 years, they flourished under the leadership of Upper School Division Head Joel Sohn, who is leaving us for the sunniest state of California. Please join me in thanking Joel. So class of 2023, use the wings that have been given to you to explore all the possibilities that await you in this world. Take college courses you never thought you would take. Meet people from around the world. Challenge yourselves to make friends from very different backgrounds. Make opportunities for travel, explore new places, learn new languages, eat unfamiliar foods. Challenge yourselves and your perspectives. And when you are ready, only when you are ready, return home to your roots. Know that whatever you do or wherever you go in this world, you will always have a home at UPrep. Know that you are loved, appreciated, and admired here at home. We cannot wait to see and hear where life takes you. And always remember, as Harriet Tubman once said, every dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember you have within you the strength and the patience and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world. Congratulations to you all. And now I would like to introduce a member of your class. Peyton Hobble will introduce our commencement speaker. Peyton.
Hi, my name is Peyton Hobble, and I'm here to introduce our faculty speaker, Rebecca Moe. Moe, the name we all know her by, grew up on the East Coast playing 3 sports: soccer, basketball, and softball from a young age. She attended Fordham University where she played softball. During that time, she started working in the athletic department as a graduate assistant. She finished school with a master's degree in education. After college, Moe moved to Seattle and started working for the Pumas in the fall of '99 as the assistant athletic director, the transportation scheduler, and teaching 2 sections of PE. She became the athletic director in 2006. I met Moe when I came to UPrep as a 6th grader. In the spring of that year, she became my softball coach. Our team consisted of 2 players who had played softball before, and for the rest, the sport was brand new. This team was the start of a strong bond between Moe and I. Moe and our assistant coach, Raya Sanford, pulled 5 nervous 6th graders and 6 scary 8th graders together and made us into a close-knit team. The values that Moe and Raya brought to our team set the foundation for my experience with UPrep sports. When I started writing this introduction, I asked Moe if she remembered our record that year. She couldn't recall exactly, but she said it was probably between 2 and 5. We talked about what we do remember: my teammates' first hits, the excitement of making plays, learning how to slide, and the speaker debate at practices, figuring out how loud we could play the music before the neighbors complained, and begging Moe to let us listen to the original version instead of the clean. We also talked about how fun the staff versus student game was with our female teachers. Through all of these moments, Moe taught us how to be a Puma. When I got to high school, UPrep didn't have a softball team. With Moe's help, I was able to play for my neighborhood school, Ballard High School. Last season, I remember she told me that she was coming to a game we had later that day. My response was, "Oh no, don't come today. We're playing Roosevelt and they're really good." She gave me a look and laughed and said, "If I didn't go to every Puma game that I thought we'd lose, I wouldn't have been to a lot of games." I laughed back and said, "True." No matter if the team's record is 10-0 or 0-10, Moe's at the game supporting student athletes. She travels all over, going from Starfire to Shorecrest. She's at the ultimate game that starts at 3:30 and then straight to the baseball game at 7. If she's not at the game, she's got parents texting her score updates and photos. This is the community that she has built. During the day, Moe can be found making her rounds by the senior table and the commons, telling stories and checking in. She has connections with students within the sports community and beyond it. She knows what show the theater's performing, when mock trials competing, and who's traveling with Global Link. After we graduate, we will miss her greetings in the hallways. We will miss her encouraging face after tests. We will miss recapping our games with her, and something I will especially miss are the stories of her owning male athletic directors. My favorite story is when Moe was trying to schedule a game with a school that will be unnamed. She was following the scheduling guidelines, and her counterpart decided to start explaining RPI, a metric used by the state association to seed tournament brackets. He talked about how their schools needed to schedule one game before confirming the other to follow the RPI rules. And in typical Moe fashion, she calmly responded, saying that she was in fact the chairperson of that RPI committee and the one who sent that information to him. Moe is a gracious professional leader who puts her student athletes first. In Washington, only 16% of athletic directors are women. Moe continues to stand out and break down doors for future aspiring female leaders. She stands as a role model for our whole class and will continue to be after we leave. Moe's been awarded Puma of the Week 2 times. She's the mother of 2 UPrep graduates, a senior advisor, a coach, and a friend to all. Her tenacity, Puma spirit, and kindness represent our grade so well. Her impact on our class is unmatched, and that's why I'm honored to introduce the commencement speaker for the class of 2023, Rebecca Moe.
Dear members of the class of 2023, colleagues, families, Pumas, and friends, Thank you, Peyton, for that thoughtful introduction, and to the class of 2023 for the invitation to speak tonight. I'm both honored and humbled to be here today to share this day of celebration. For many years, 24 to be exact, I've watched many UPrep classes cross the stage at Temple de Hirsch. I watched the 2020 cross the finish line in a car at the Evergreen Speedway. The class of 2021 walk across the stage in the meadow of the Wooden Parkland Zoo. And now for the fourth time, we are here in McCaw Hall. And for a class that has had to be creative and find creative ways to show up for each other, we are honored to show up for you today. I welcome all family and friends in attendance for this celebration. I'm so grateful that you have the opportunity to be here today and gather as a community to celebrate the 85 members of the class of 2023. And within those 85 families, 75% of them are celebrating us one last time as current families. They too will be moving on from the day-to-day life of UPrep. Families, I dearly appreciate your partnership the last 7 years, and for some it's been a lot longer. Being a parenting peer with many of you and standing together on the sidelines or watching show and founders, I appreciate you giving me updates when I could not be at a performance or a game for my own kids because I was off supporting other Pumas. It means more than you know. You have been respectful as my role as a mom and an athletic director and knew which Rebecca to engage with when needed. I know for a fact that's not always the case at other schools. I'm also thankful for the many colleagues and those who have become friends and have supported me at my time at UPrep. When I began at UPrep many years ago, I was new to Seattle, and then after joining UPrep in the fall of '99, I found an instant community, one that has not only welcomed me, but my family. And each day since that fall, I continue to show up, work with many outstanding people, students, and families, and many of you have contributed to my success as UPrep as the athletic director, an advisor, an educator, a coach, the Puma of the Week, parent, and a friend. No 2 days have ever been the same, but the joy of working with our Pumas day to day remains constant. As you sit here today as part of the celebration, you will hear vignettes about each graduate. You will be inspired, amazed, and wowed. They are amazing as individuals, but together they form a class that has shown resilience and tremendous growth. From my experience with the class of 2023, I know they have a special connection, are kind, funny, thoughtful, caring, and have a deep sense of Puma pride. You represent the best of us. Graduates, today is a momentous occasion as we gather here to celebrate your graduation. You've come a long way from the first day you stepped foot on campus. I remember many of you as 11-year-old sixth graders, filled with awe, anticipation, and perhaps a little apprehension. When I think back to the beginning of your high school experience at UPrep, we had a camp retreat at Camp Kalakwa. We did all sorts of awkward team building activities on logs. We did. It rained and there was thundering and lightning. The weather was so bad we had to deliver the s'mores material to your cabins. Nothing like a cold marshmallow, cold piece of chocolate, and a graham cracker to celebrate the beginning of 9th grade. Looking back now, if we had known that your freshman year would have ended the way with all of us at home, online, and in Zoom rooms, I wonder if we would have done things differently at that retreat. I know I would have been more engaged, more present, and taken the opportunities to show appreciation and gratitude. I think that was a lesson we all took to heart as you moved through sophomore, junior, and senior year. Fast forward to Saturday, June 3rd at the Space Needle. The same Pumas, now grown, dressed up, enjoying a sunny Seattle afternoon. I sat back in wonder and observed and watched the night unfold. It was remarkable to see how your class has grown into a collective group that appreciates and values each other. You were engaged and you were present. Over the years, you have grown not only as students, but as individuals, thanks to the values instilled through teamwork, leadership, and community. These have been the constant themes in your time at UPrep, and for me, they've been the things that I've always been able to rely on both the good days and the bad days. First and foremost, I want to acknowledge the power of teamwork. Through your UPrep journey, you have learned that collaboration and cooperations are the cornerstones of success. From group projects to co-curricular activities, you have experienced the magic that happens when individuals unite with a common purpose. Teamwork has taught us the significance of listening to diverse perspectives, valuing each other's strengths, and working towards a shared goal. I have witnessed the power of teamwork among your class in areas of theater, and mock trial, and debate, and jazz band, and orchestra, and ASB, and yearbook, and prep press, and Global Link, and especially through athletics. Team skills such as accountability and dependability and communication are not just evident on the playing field, but for actors to be off book on time and be able to block their scenes. It's witness preparation for mock trial and traveling internationally as part of Global Link. That is teamwork. You can be a lone wolf, but you'll find more often than not the strength lies within the pack. As you step into the next phase of your lives, remember that no great achievement is possible without the support and contribution of a dedicated team. Secondly, leadership growth has played a pivotal role in shaping your class. I've witnessed extraordinary leaders emerge from your midst who've inspired and guided us to reach new heights, especially during times of uncertainty. Leadership is not about authority or titles. It's about empowering others, nurturing their potential, and leading by example. Each one of you holds the capacity to be a leader, regardless of your ability, your field of expertise, or interest. Whether you choose to lead your team, your school, in your families, or within your communities, remember that a true leadership is a genuine desire to make a positive difference. A recent quote by Simon Sinek resonated with me as I thought about your class and the concept of leadership. Leadership is not about being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. That is what I've witnessed on the playing field, backstage, at the farm table, in meeting those yearbook deadlines, in ASB event planning, and preparing to host visitors from Columbia. It's been fun to see you all develop as leaders and care for one another. It's my hope that my colleagues and I have modeled that for you too. Please continue to find opportunities to lead and take care of those in your charge. Never underestimate the influence and impact you are making while you lead from a place of care. We owe a great deal of gratitude to our community. Your time at UPrep has not been solely about academics. It's also been about forging connections, building relationships, and embracing the opportunities around us. Our community has nurtured you, challenged you, and provided you with a support system that extends far beyond the confines of the walls. It has taught you the importance of respect, care, and the power of being a Puma. As you embark on the next chapter of your lives, continue to strive to be active participants in your new communities, contributing your skills, knowledge, and resources for the betterment of others. I'm constantly reminded in the last few weeks of the power of community and the importance of showing up. Last weekend, in the span of 36 hours, I had a full schedule of UPrep community events. To understand and appreciate our present and future, we need to dip into the past from time to time and hear stories that reaffirm our belief in what we are doing at UPrep. First up, we had many former faculty, staff, and founders come back to campus to celebrate the long career of Paul Fleming. It was a great opportunity to visit with colleagues who have worked with Paul for so many years. Hearing shared stories exchanged about our campus when it was merely portables bordering the pea patch, and now we're on the cusp of opening the new building across the street. It was great to see past and present colleagues show up to celebrate Paul and his long career and commitment to theater education. When different generations of Pumas, students, staff, or faculty come together, magic happens and it builds a stronger community. The following day, my family and I participated in the Live Like Raya 5K Memorial Run Walk at Lincoln Park. Again, I was overwhelmed by the alumni attendants, their families, their own children, former faculty, and many current students and coaches. All of them showing up to celebrate Raya Sanford, the class of 2007, and the foundation created in her name, which supports efforts that are near and dear to Raya. Those that were learned and nurtured through her time at UPrep. And for a brief time, some of you benefited from her leadership as a coach and her joyful presence on campus. Peyton mentioned Raya in her introduction, and it's not lost on me the fact that a student who entered UPrep in 2000 can have a direct impact on the members of the class of 2023. That is a result of the power of community and connection. Later that night at the prom at the Space Needle, your senior advisors and upper school leaders gathered with you for community dinner and welcomed the juniors later that evening. Many of you attended Seattle's most iconic venues, the late sunset, the joy of dancing, which I must say is much better than it was 10 years ago. Taking advisory photos and welcoming the juniors. The torch was passed as they began their journey to be our school leaders. It was a perfect night to begin the week-long celebration of your class and countdown to graduation. Moving forward, I strongly encourage you to rely on your community and continue to surround yourself with meaningful people. And you know when ready, your UPrep community is always here to welcome you back, support you, and celebrate you. Every so often, when I'm at a game, I will suggest to the students in attendance, I think it's time to do a fangram. Not only is it fun, it allows us to reset, connect, and focus why we're here at the event. It's a fairly new tradition in the last year or two, and I know the class of 2023 has wholeheartedly embraced, enthusiastically, and participated in many of my fangrams this year. In 3 simple words, a group is mobilized, the group is present, standing tall, standing together, and with their hands in the shape of a U. Since I'm up here tonight, I think it's only fitting we do the last fangram of the school year with the entire audience in the class of 2023. I'll probably have to take like 2 or 3 photos to get everybody. But as I remind the kids, be patient. I'm about the same age as your parents, and my iPhone is old and my skills are mediocre. So on the count of 3, I'm gonna ask everybody to stand up, and everyone in McCaw Hall to stand up, stand tall, stand together, and put up your U's. And then I'm gonna take a photo. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, I gotta get out of the light here. Oh my goodness. All right, I've got a lot of light in this one. Got too much light. Let's get the graduates, one more time, graduates. I don't think I'll ever get the opportunity to do that again, so that was kind of fun. So thank you all for helping me pull that off. It's always a good moment at a game to reset why we're there. And in keeping with tradition, I'll post to Instagram later tonight. So I've talked about teamwork and leadership and community and took our fangram. Now I think it's time to think ahead and envision our future. I'd like now to read you a brief letter that I've written to you in the year 2038 in 15 years. I'm going to do my best to manifest some of these outcomes over the next few years. So dear class of 2023, it's me, Rebecca Moe. I spoke at your graduation 15 years ago, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at your reunion on campus this summer. Your class holds a special place in my heart. Your courage, your kindness, the care for each other set expectations for classes that followed. You started high school before the pandemic, worked your way through remote learning, sport pods, parking lot lunches. I'm thankful during your senior year, your class brought us back to a traditional school year. So much has happened in 15 years. I'm enjoying retirement. I'm keeping myself busy, volunteer coaching, going for long walks, perfecting my pickleball game, and traveling. The success and journeys you've all been on is nothing short of remarkable. It's not surprising to me that several of you ended up in the field of public health. Your time in high school was impacted significantly by the pandemic. Your sense of social responsibility and being a change agent is making a difference and will hopefully prevent another generation from that experience. Another one of your classmates is working as an executive with the Seattle Supersonics. The city was overjoyed at their return, and they continue to vie for championships along with the Kraken and the Storm. It's pretty cool to see there's so many UPrep connections among the Seattle sport teams. As I've been doing for years, I lurk on LinkedIn and see Pumas finding work in the tech field, becoming teachers, nurses, serving in the Peace Corps, holding leadership positions in the entrepreneur space, leading social justice initiatives. Your class is no exception, and thinking back to 2023, that doesn't surprise me. I'm excited to hear that many of you are serving as mentors to the current Pumas being the Launchpad experience. When you visit campus, you'll be excited to see some of the new changes. First being the turf on Doll Fields. It took many years, but we finally were able to partner with the Parks Department on this joint project, which significantly impacts the youth sports in North Seattle, as well as our UPrep teams. It almost became a dog park. Tub Subs made a return to North Seattle. They took over the Jet City Pizza location right down the street, and many Pumas have continued to enjoy countless firecrackers, avocado BLTs, and toasted Callies. Student parking continues to be a challenge. Even with all these smart cars, some things never change when sophomores get their license. This school's set to open another building. The U Lab successfully opened just after you graduated in the fall of 2023. In subsequent years, more land was acquired, allowing the school to expand its footprint on the west side of 25th. The U Lab extension's coming soon. I recall speaking at your graduation and challenging you to continue to develop your teamwork skills, lead from a space that shows care for others, continue to show up for your community, and surround yourself with meaningful people. I can see that you took that to heart, and while you've traveled near and far, you continue to do remarkable things. I hope from time to time that you have been able to reflect back on your foundational experiences at UPrep and know that you hold a special place in our community and its history. Looking forward to seeing you soon, Ms. Moe. Teamwork, leadership, community, the fangram, the letter to our future selves, while it might all seem random, when put together, they are all meant to tie together and connect what lies at the heart of the Pumas. Coupled with the importance of reflecting on our shared journey and stories, being present in the now by taking a moment to reset, stand tall, stand together, and always having some fun envisioning what might lie ahead, as silly as some of the ideas may appear at first. As we bid farewell to the class of 2023, your time at UPrep, remember to carry the lessons of teamwork, leadership, and community with you, and allow them to continue to shape your world with the same spirit that has brought us all here tonight in celebration of you all. Good luck, go get 'em, and remember, once a Puma, always a Puma. Congratulations.
Yay! Okay, I got this. Good evening, everyone. Families, faculty, staff, trustees, students, and of course, graduates. It is a great honor to stand here in front of you tonight to introduce and celebrate the class of 2023. It is also pretty scary to feel so many eyes on me, but I promise to make these 3-4 minutes go fast and make you laugh, hopefully at least once. When I first started at UPrep and attended my first graduation ceremony 18 years ago, I was amazed at how high school students were celebrated in the US. As some of you may know, I am originally from Lleida, a city in Catalonia in Spain. Thank you. And my high school experience was very different from yours. Different times, mid-90s, different space. We gathered at the school event space, and different culture and values. Our teachers actually provided us with cases of beer to celebrate. Don't worry, everyone, it was totally legal. And so I came in as your dean in your junior year. I truly appreciated your efforts to restore a few UPrep traditions that were lost during the pandemic. And you have brought the joy back to our assemblies. Remember the assemblies on Zoom? We tried hard to stay connected over Zoom. But in the last 2 years, it has been your class, more than any other, that has restored our living, breathing, in-person community. And as I said, this year, we got the joy back. The united laughter during grade level activities, or just cheering for one another to celebrate our Pumas. And that is remarkable. You put time and thought into making this year a memorable one. Dancing with the Stars was such a fun event. I hope we can keep it alive. Juniors. What most impressed me was watching you organize the senior prank. Yes, I know, it was a bit loud. Sorry to those that felt overwhelmed, but hear me out. I heard your ideas ahead of the class meeting, and I was curious to see your peers' reaction. I was blown away by how well you all listened to each other's ideas, by how you appreciated each other's creativity and sense of humor, and by how you agreed to collaborate throughout the day to make your prank a performance. Watching you collaborate got me thinking about some of the skills I have seen you develop and even master over the last 2 years. Collaboration. You have embraced the skills that it takes to succeed in group projects and programs like Math Helpers. You advocate for yourself when team members don't collaborate as they should. You encourage others, and you listen to each other's ideas and perspectives. Flexibility. You have displayed so much flexibility during your time at UPrep, pre and post-pandemic. This is such an important skill, especially in the times we have ahead of us with uncertainty and change. Keep your mind flexible and adaptable to new situations and experiences. Leadership. I have seen many of you shine in different areas and serve as role models to all of us. As I said earlier, I have really appreciated seeing you restore some traditions that were lost during the pandemic, and you have been crucial in bringing us together as a community with your enthusiasm and can-do attitude. Social skills. You have demonstrated you can establish positive relationships amongst different groups of people and that you can navigate difficult situations and conversations. Make sure that you acknowledge people in your daily interactions and communications. To wrap up this introduction of the class of 2023, here's my advice as you take your next steps in the world. Balance is the key to thrive in life. I did not come up with this idea, but based on my experiences, this is what I find to be true for myself and many other people around us. So work hard, play hard, and take care of your physical, mental, and emotional health as hard as well. This senior class helped us rebuild and reunite as a community in joy and understanding, and I am so proud and humbled to introduce to everyone the class of 2023. Go Pumas!
And now, the presentation of the diplomas. Our first graduate is a prolific student leader, co-leading the Black Student Union, the Muslim Student Alliance, and the Tailgate Club. She spent 100 hours as a junior health scholar at Swedish Hospital and volunteered at the Duwamish Valley Youth Corps at South Park, focusing on environmental justice and job skills. Her most memorable time at UPrep was being part of Global Link American South. Attending Northeastern University in the fall, our first graduate is Juwaria Isa Abdullahi. Our next graduate played varsity ultimate for 3 of his 4 years on the team and was this year's team captain. His most memorable moment was playing ultimate in the snow during his sophomore year. They had to shovel the field in order to play. He also took all the Spanish electives he could, was enrolled in the highest level math and physics courses possible, took stagecraft from his awesome advisor, Mr. Fleming, and helped coach a state baseball team. With plans to attend Loyola Marymount University to study engineering, our next graduate is Joshua Felix Amador. A bright, positive spirit and exemplary self-advocate, this Puma is an accomplished speech and debate captain and debate team record holder. She wowed us with her memorable dancing and singing of Take a Chance on Me as Rosie and Mamma Mia. She swam, dove, and played water polo throughout high school, and her favorite Puma moments include her first day of school at UPrep, first debate tournament, and the senior circle at retreat. A National Honor Society officer, she volunteered for Assist Teens, Roots Young Adult Shelter, and Habitat for Humanity. Planning to study political science at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo on the path to law school, our next graduate is Sophie Francis Angiulo. This graduate is a true jack of all trades. He excels as a talented Mandarin speaker, founder of the Computer Engineering Club, and also held varsity positions and mock trial as an attorney, jazz ensemble as a trombonist, and an ultimate as a captain. He actively volunteered to deliver COVID vaccines, educate elementary schoolers, and build transitional homes for the unhoused. Attending the University of Washington to major in engineering with aspirations of starting his own business in the future, our next graduate is John Bazinski. You will often find him hiking in the woods or climbing mountains. He spent many of his weekends volunteering with search and rescue efforts around King County and the Cascades. One of his favorite memories at UPrep is backpacking and outdoor leadership, and he is most proud of taking quant physics and calculus too. This spring, he completed his EMT certification at North Seattle College in addition to his normal class load. Attending the University of Colorado Boulder next year to study biomedical engineering, our next graduate is David Baylor. This Puma has spent many hours on the Puma bus as a 4-year varsity basketball player and team captain. A member of the yearbook staff since 10th grade, she helped capture memories of a school she says feels more like a home after 7 years. During her senior year, she traveled to Barranquilla, Colombia on the first Global Link trip since 2019, and upon returning to Seattle, used her organizational skills to connect UPrep host families with our Colombian guests. Attending Villanova University to study marketing, our next graduate is Megan Ellen Bolger. This senior was a senior class academic council representative and a member of the National Honor Society. She led the Jewish Culture Appreciation Club and has been an active youth board member of Water First International for 3 years. Her 9th grade year was spent living abroad in Israel, where she attended the American International School. She has rowed competitively since 8th grade at Pocock Rowing Center and is committed to row for the University of Washington, where she will major in biochemistry. Our next graduate is Carmel Bolag. Our next graduate is a writer, artist, and outdoor enthusiast. In fact, she was recently awarded the Jeanette C. Williams Writing Award for Best Portfolio. She is proud of volunteering many hours at Perfect Pals Cat Shelter, surviving physics last year, and playing flute for 9 consecutive years. Her favorite memories include watching movies in French class and performing poetry at Coffee House. With plans to attend the University of Washington and study the written arts, our next graduate is Carolyn Brandt. This diligent and independent student is proud of her final essay from the Humanities Intensive, which she eventually adapted into her personal essay that got her into her dream college. She's grateful for fun and amazing lunchtimes with her friends. She hopes to continue learning Chinese and study abroad in China, with plans to attend the University of Washington, where she will major in pre-humanities and discover new passions. Our next graduate is Whitney Brooks.
This graduate's most memorable UPrep moment was the 6th grade camping trip when her mountain group, led by Tom Strauss, learned to wash pots and pans with pine cones and slept under the stars. She was a 4-year varsity tennis player as well as co-captain her senior year. She spent a semester of junior year in Zaragoza, Spain, and has taken every UPrep Spanish elective. With plans to study science on the honors pre-med track at the University of Washington, our next graduate is Sarah Elise Burns. He has attended UPrep since 6th grade. During that time, he has explored his passion for STEM through classes like calculus, physics, and electricity and magnetism. He has been a member of the cross-country team for 3 years, an experience that culminated with a very successful run at Granite Falls this fall. He also tried his hand throwing javelin for the track and field team. Attending the University of Washington, where he will major in computer science, our next graduate is Luca Kalari. As an editor-in-chief of the yearbook and an executive of LEAD for the past 2 years, this graduate was dedicated to helping the UPrep community that she adores so much. Outside of school, she loved volunteer tutoring and fighting for sensible gun legislation through Students Demand Action. She is grateful for her family's support and cannot pass up the opportunity to recognize her elementary school teacher near Warfield for teaching her how fun math can truly be. Attending Dartmouth College, our next graduate is Julia Rose Capio. Our next graduate founded a nonprofit organization called Reading Buddies with his friends during the summer of 2020 to support struggling readers in local elementary schools. He was also a varsity athlete in both tennis and basketball, serving as varsity tennis captain his senior year. His most memorable UPrep moment was having a blast on the 7th grade camping trip. With plans to study business at the University of Virginia, our next graduate is Carter Cast. This graduate played varsity tennis all 4 years and took on leadership roles on the robotics team. Complete and utter defeat in every robotics competition inspired him to kick off the engineering club, and he is proud of the numerous projects it completed. With his twin brother Carter and their 2 friends, he helped found Reading Buddies, an organization with more than 100 members that has now been handed down to the class of 2024 to continue. Attending Dartmouth University in the fall, our next graduate is William Robert Blue Cast. Our next graduate has been at UPrep since 6th grade. He's a National Honor Society member and volunteers at the Hunger Intervention Program. He played varsity basketball, where he discovered Eastside Prep has the most comfortable bench by far. He also participated in varsity track and field and was the first thrower to represent the Pumas at Bi-District since 2018. Thank you. With plans to attend Purdue University to major in engineering, our next graduate is Evan Colondo. She starred as Michael Jackson in the Halloween dance class recreation of Thriller and was the winner of this year's Dancing with the Stars contest. She's been a leader on the volleyball team, a Reading Buddies tutor, and led a fishbowl conversation about what it is like to be a Black woman in media and society. Her most memorable moment is leading a flash mob in front of the whole school and remarks it will be weird not walking the halls of UPrep. Attending Seattle University to study marketing and communications while focusing on her dance and songwriting skills, our next graduate is Shariel Nashe Cornelius Shears. Our next graduate treasured her time in Miss PB's chemistry electives, Miss Howe's Calculus 2 class, and Mr. Grant's U.S. History, Art, and Music intensive. She played on the varsity tennis and volleyball teams and is proud to have been a lead executive and a queer student union leader. She excelled at competitive Irish dance and is grateful for the amazing teachers at UPrep who taught her to love learning. Attending Bowdoin College in the fall, please welcome Claire Crawford. This student eagerly took on the challenges of Calculus 2, quant physics, and engineering, and was invested in Bitcoin mining with his friends. He was a lead builder for 4 years of stagecraft sets, including The Tempest and Mamma Mia, and used those same skills for community service building tiny houses for the unhoused. He was surprisingly suited to being the Puma mascot and enjoyed interacting with the small children who trailed after him. Heading to Switzerland to study mechanical engineering, our next graduate is Henry Perkins Kern. Good.
Our next graduate is a versatile student-athlete performer. He was a member of varsity soccer and basketball and was a captain for both. He plays the bassoon, participating in the UPrep Chamber Orchestra, and made the state final in the solo and ensemble competition for multiple years. His most proud moment is performing Peter and the Wolf in his final concert. With plans to study business at Villanova, our next graduate is Quinn Drebeck. Our next graduate discovered her passion for dance early in life and hasn't stopped dancing since. She fondly remembers the fun days at UPrep before COVID, along with the senior retreat when the class could finally hang out together again. She would like to thank UPrep, the Exit Space dance community, and her family for supporting her all these years. Attending Cal Poly San Luis Obispo to major in business and minor in dance, our next graduate is Priya Hansa Dudley. This next graduate has studied dance at All That Dance, where she has learned a variety of dance styles since she was 3 years old and has performed with the company program. She has dedicated many hours to community service, tutoring Ukrainian students in English and teaching math to local students with peer guide. Attending Cal Poly San Luis Obispo this coming fall, Ava Durbin. This student, musician, and engineering club leader is most proud of his civics bill for mock Congress last winter. His fondest UPrep memories include the backpacking trip in outdoor leadership and the Lionel Hampton Jazz Festival this year, where they won first place. He is proud to be attending the University of Denver this coming year. Please welcome our next graduate, Landry Ellis. This graduate's experiences as co-leader of both the Black Student Union and the Muslim Student Association are memories that will stick with her for years to come. Outside of school, she could often be found tutoring middle schoolers in Algebra 1 and has spent these last 4 years volunteering for support partnerships in education and beyond, an organization working with immigrant parents to navigate school systems. Her love for the communities she has been a part of has inspired her to pursue a degree in informatics at the University of Washington. Our next graduate is Habak Hassan Farah. This student would say they have been able to maintain a sardonic and disaffected tone through their time at UPrep. They have overcome significant adversity during COVID-19 pandemic, and they will be attending the University of Glasgow, all the way in the United Kingdom, with a dual focus in history and mathematics. Known for their fantastic hats and mushroom adornments, this next graduate is Adam Fisher. Our next accomplished graduate is a second-degree black belt in Shudokan Karate, as well as a karate instructor at her dojo in Bothell. She's not just skilled in martial arts, but also played 2 years of soccer for UPrep. Her love for her animals led her to volunteer at Greyhound Pets Incorporated, a shelter in Woodinville. One of her fondest high school memories was the senior retreat. And now, with a passion for biology and medicine, she's excited to attend Scripps College and pursue the pre-med track. Our next graduate is Carolyn Fishman. An accomplished dancer, this graduate is a member of the National Honor Society for Dance Arts and was the dance captain for Mamma Mia her senior year. She also played 4 years of varsity tennis, including 2 as captain. Her most memorable UPrep moments were finding community at all the different events, especially the annual Pie Bake, where the students made pies, played music, and had a good time. Her favorite classes were forensics and ecology, 2 classes that inspired her to study environmental science and dance at Skidmore College this fall. Our next graduate is Isabel Flack. This graduate's most memorable UPrep moment was celebrating the beginning of the end at senior sunrise, the morning of the last day of school. He is proud of creating and cultivating the very active class of 2023 Snapchat group. In the summer of 2022, he traveled to Guatemala with global visionaries and has been an active member of their board of directors ever since. His favorite classes at UPrep were 9th grade biology and genetics. Attending the University of Denver to study microbiology and pursue a career in biotechnology, our next graduate is Ian Gaffney.
Our next graduate began his journey at UPrep during his freshman year. A skilled football player, he spent 4 years playing slot receiver and cornerback for Lincoln High School, helping his team win 2 consecutive division titles. Among his fondest memories at UPrep was the electrifying moment when Trevor Zell scored a buzzer beater against Summit Sierra. Setting his sights on a new challenge to pursue a degree in finance at Villanova University, our next graduate is William Kemner Glenn. Our next graduate transformed the Puma Press, serving as editor-in-chief and redesigning the newspaper's templates as part of her launchpad. She starred as Donna in this year's production of Mamma Mia, a satisfying conclusion to her involvement with the UPrep Theater Department. Some of her most memorable moments were performing at Music Day with her sister, being a co-chair for the Black Student Union, and backpacking during her semester at the High Mountain Institute in Colorado. She's grateful for her family and her community at Rainier Scholars, especially her best friend and the 12 students that they mentored in their advisory. She's excited to attend Howard University in Washington, D.C. this fall. Our next graduate is Sydney Malaya Goitia Duran. Having spent 7 years at UPrep, our next graduate had a memorable journey. In 9th grade, she began her soccer career as a swing player, eventually playing 3 seasons of varsity and becoming captain her senior year. Among her favorite UPrep memories was spending spring break in Barranquilla with Global Link Colombia. There, she forged lifelong memories and friendships. With an eye on the future, she's excited to begin studying management information systems at Santa Clara University next fall. Our next graduate is Ella Griffin. The next graduate played 4 years of UPrep soccer and softball at Ballard High School. She will miss being Mo's assistant the most. Her favorite UPrep memory was being the girls' basketball manager when they earned their first win of the 2021 season. She will study business and sports media at the University of Colorado Boulder while doing a lot of skiing. Our next graduate is Peyton Ella Hobble. senior is a National Merit Commended student, a National Honor Society student, and logged 100 hours of community service. He was a 3-year starter on the varsity basketball team and earned first team All-League honors this year. He will never forget the baseball team winning 3rd place in state last year. With plans to study economics and business at the University of Michigan, our next graduate is Sam Hamilton. This senior said, "I really enjoyed the UPrep community and making many friends with the students as well as the staff members." He's a member of the National Honor Society and has taken French every year. He played 3 years of basketball and 4 years of baseball. He was all-conferences pitcher and first baseman and proud that the team placed 3rd at state in 2022. He will attend Linfield College to play baseball, major in kinesiology and sports management, and minor in education and photography. Our next graduate is Zach Hampson. This graduate found their passion in art and nature, which they will pursue at Connecticut College through botany and fine arts. Their favorite classes at UPrep were art with Ty, current events with Mr. Sokol, chemistry with Ms. Lon, and the ecology intensive. The student is excited to move on to college and further explore their interests. They'd like to thank their friends for all the great memories they've made together and for always being there for them. Our next graduate is Maddie Harris. Our next graduate joined UPrep in 9th grade. She is most proud of her involvement on the tennis team for the past 4 years. Her favorite memory was camp day in 9th grade because she was so excited to be a high schooler. Throughout high school, she loved filling her schedule with photography and art classes. With plans to attend Loyola Marymount University and study marketing, our next graduate is Audrey Hillman.
Centrifugal force propelled this senior through quantitative physics, and she distilled all of the chemistry classes at UPrep. Her academic fluency earned her a spot in both the National Honor Society and French National Honor Society. She dedicated her service to math tutoring and volunteering at her elementary school summer camp. Serving 4 years as a hitter on the volleyball team, she also has fond memories of swimming and water safety with her friends. Attending Pittsburgh College, our next graduate is Mira Nisa Hinkle. Our next graduate is the Associated Student Body Vice President. She has run cross-country for the past 7 years and served as team captain for the past 3 years. As a mock trial prosecuting attorney and captain, she led her team to win the district champ competition twice. In her free time, she fostered over 55 kittens for a local nonprofit. She is excited to focus on pre-med at Princeton University next fall. Our next graduate is Haley Catherine Hoffman. This graduate is an accomplished performer who participated in the school musical every year. He also took a leadership role in organizing coffee house and student-produced works. Off stage, he served his community as co-leader of the Queer Student Union and the Creative Arts Society, helping to plan UPrep Pride events for the past 3 years. His favorite memories include singing with the UPrep Chamber Orchestra, performing on Music Day, and attending the Student Diversity Leadership Conference. Attending Vassar College in the fall, our next graduate is Coleman George Hunter. This Puma left early morning crew on Lake Union to return to UPrep as a sophomore. Our own Hollywood star, she was hilariously convincing as Tony the basketball bully in The Bully Plays. She did a lot of park cleanup for her service hours and is proud of her intensive sustainable food project. Her comfort companion, Milfred the hamster, helped her get through calculus and her senior year. She'd like to send a thankful shout out to her supportive mom. Attending Pitzer College, our next graduate is Lauren Huang. Our next graduate began her UPrep journey in 6th grade. Passionate about athletics, she played 4 years of varsity soccer, 4 years of varsity basketball, and 3 years of varsity track and field. Some of her most memorable moments at UPrep include beating SAS in soccer her freshman year, the 8th grade camping trip, Global Link American South, and attending the Student Diversity Leadership Conference. She also attended the Alzar School during her junior year. Attending Cal Poly San Luis Obispo to study marine sciences on a pre-med track, our next graduate is Katherine Jackson. Our next student has been part of student government since 6th grade. Civic engagement has played a large role in our high school career as the chair of the Seattle Youth Commission, speaking with congressional members about Korean American policy priorities in DC, and serving as a liaison between elected officials and the Korean American community. She has been an attorney in both years she participated in mock trial, including a state final appearance this spring. She also participated in Global Link trips to Atlanta, Georgia, and Barranquilla, Colombia. Majoring in political science on a pre-law track at the University of Southern California, our next graduate is Catherine Hannah Kang. Our next graduate is most proud of the independent launchpad he completed as a junior, working with the National Football League's Director of Research. He also enjoyed writing about sports for the school newspaper. His favorite memories from UPrep were the 8th grade camping trip and finally making the varsity basketball team his senior year. With plans to study business at the University of Colorado Boulder, our next graduate is Jonathan Karras. Our next graduate has been at UPrep for 7 years and has taken 7 visual art classes, even though they only go up to level 4. She was a passionate fan of the girls' ultimate team and helped to resurrect Coffee House. In addition to advocating for herself and others in times of difficulty and stress, she is also proud of persevering through COVID isolation and innumerable injuries to now proudly walk across this stage. With plans to attend Wellesley College, our next graduate is Alice Barbara Kaufman.
Our next graduate is a National Merit Commended student, a member of both the National Honor Society and Spanish Honor Society, and is proud to have helped found the Reading Buddies Service Organization, which provides literacy support to elementary school students in Seattle. He played basketball and ultimate frisbee all 4 years of upper school. Attending Washington University in St. Louis in the fall with plans to major in biology, our next graduate is Peter Kong. This graduate found his passion in photography, which he will be pursuing in college at Seattle University. At UPrep, he worked hard academically and grew socially. His favorite classes were current events with Mr. Sokol and art classes with Ty. He even attended a whole semester of visual art too without enrolling. With a sharp sense of humor and a deep capacity for empathy, this person credits his friends for helping him grow. Our next graduate is David Labriola. Our next graduate enjoyed taking advanced statistics, anatomy and physiology, and golf. He was a member of the Mental Health Advisory Board and Consent Task Force. He facilitated lead conversations and volunteered as a middle school soccer and basketball coach. He played 4 years of varsity basketball and baseball. His most memorable UPrep moment was a third-place finish in the state baseball tournament in 2022. With plans to major in sports management at the University of Michigan, our next graduate is Zach Nathan Laganoff. Our next graduate is proud of her accomplishments at the School for Ethics and Global Leadership in Johannesburg, South Africa, her art portfolio, her commitment to Ultimate for the past 7 years, and her advocacy and leadership on the Water First Youth Board, including as international co-chair. This fall, she will be attending the Columbia University Sciences Po dual degree program in France to major in political humanities and sustainable development. Our next graduate is Georgia V. Langworthy. This tenacious editor-in-chief spent 4 years in the North Lab trying to meet deadlines, except when she was in Johannesburg, South Africa, learning about international relations at the School for Ethics and Global Leadership at the African Leadership Academy during her junior year. An activist both inside and UPrep and out, she hopes that the school will continue to create more equitable curriculums for both queer and Jewish students. Proud owner of her older brother's dented blue Prius, she will be attending Brown University to study political science and French. Our next graduate is Talia Gabrielle Levide. A passionate advocate for mental health, she served on the Mental Health Advisory Board and spent her launchpad analyzing student survey data on the impact of student-teacher relationships. She also spent many hours volunteering in her community through assistings. She played varsity softball at Shorecrest High School and participated in Mamma Mia her senior year. Her most memorable moment was the outdoor leadership backpacking trip. Attending the University of Southern California and majoring in psychology, our next graduate is Melina Alexia Limansakis. This Puma is proud to have improved his writing in 11th grade English, bowed through 4 years of violin, and created organisms in the biology intensive. An accomplished Eagle Scout, he enjoyed staffing Scout summer camp, and he's glad to have experienced the ski bus with his dad. After the chaos of the pandemic, he appreciates all of his senior year as his best high school moment. Heading to Atlanta to study at Emory University, our next graduate is Charles Liu. She is a passionate and determined student who takes pride in her global experiences, having traveled to over 65 countries. Along with playing volleyball and tennis, she supported athletics by managing the UPrep Athletics Instagram account. She spent the past summer taking real estate and business law classes at the University of Miami. Throughout high school, she volunteered at Food Lifeline and Reading Buddies. Next year, she will major in commercial real estate and development at Tulane University. Our next graduate is Sophia Ene Mahon.
This next graduate has been a steady leader in our community. At UPrep, he participated in the Black Student Union, he played on the basketball team, and was a captain on track and field. He has loved supporting younger students as a counselor in the Rainier Scholars Academic Program. His favorite school memories include the 9th and 12th grade camping trips, and next year he will attend the University of San Diego, where he plans to study business. Our next graduate is Jamari Cameron Marks. Our next graduate delved deep into her passions during her time at UPrep. She has taken courses in social development, abnormal psychology through the Global Online Academy, and has consistently pursued her love for art by taking an art class every semester since 6th grade. Her talent has been recognized by the school with several of her pieces currently on display in the hallways and offices. With a clear path in mind, she plans to attend Loyola Marymount University and pursue a double major in psychology and studio arts. Our next graduate is Abigail Marshall. Our next graduate took every chemistry class offered at UPrep. He played varsity soccer and varsity ultimate frisbee, as well as participating in mock trial, for which he went to state twice and won Best Witness at the district competition his senior year. A 3-year Community Ethics and Culture Council representative, he helped draft the school's new sexual assault and harassment policy. This year, he was an editor-in-chief at the Puma Press, and as graphics editor his junior year, the publication won the Emerald Award, the highest honor for student journalism in Washington. Attending Washington University in St. Louis to study pre-medicine, our next graduate is Ethan Chen Matsubayashi. As an academic risk-taker, she is most proud of having studied abroad for a semester in Italy. During her career as a Puma, she interned as a classroom assistant for preschoolers and attended the 2022 Student Diversity Leadership Conference. She has played 5 years of ultimate frisbee, serving as team captain her senior year. Her most memorable moments at UPrep involved cooking and language classes. Attending George Washington University with plans to study psychology, Italian language, and continue to take opportunities to study abroad, our next graduate is Daniela Anseli Meza. A talented artist, our next graduate could always be seen with the sketchbook. Over the course of her upper school career, she took 11 arts classes. Outside of school, this graduate worked with elders in her community and has been learning family recipes with her grandmother. She spent her launchpad creating paintings that celebrate her Filipino culture. Attending Endicott College to study graphic design, our next graduate is Michaela Mirabueno. Our next graduate has devoted her time at UPrep to taking on leadership roles in her community, from founding the Muslim Student Association during her sophomore year, leading the Black Student Union as president in her senior year, attending the Student Diversity Leadership Conference, and serving as a member of the Community Ethics and Culture Council. She worked diligently to promote a sense of belonging at UPrep. Attending the University of Washington with plans to pursue law in the future, our next graduate is Ilham Khadar Mohammed. Always ready to speak up on important issues, his teachers and peers appreciate his candid and mature conversations. He is proud of surviving academically, and he remembers that a silver lining of distance learning was finishing freshman year on a laptop and then heading out to surf. He has enjoyed his last 2 years of Muay Thai training. For community service, he poured concrete at a rural elementary school in Costa Rica and used his related skills as the stage manager for productions on the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee and Mamma Mia. Planning to study business management and entrepreneurship at the University of Arizona, our next graduate is Daniel Eric Nanis. This graduate has been at UPrep since 9th grade. Over this time, she has loved making new friends, volunteering at local food banks, and helping others with schoolwork, including becoming a calculus helper her senior year. Some of her favorite memories include sharing about Vietnamese culture during Culture Night and visiting the Spark Museum of Electrical Invention through her electricity and magnetism intensive. Attending Harvey Mudd College in the fall with plans to major in math and computer science, our next graduate is Linda Nguyen.
She came to University Prep as a 9th grader and happily says she found her greatest friends here. She created a Food and Agriculture in America podcast for her civics class, performed in her dance classes, and choreographed her own 4-minute performance dance piece, studied Japanese and French the last 4 years, and will be attending the University of New South Wales in Australia to double major in marine sciences and environmental humanities with a minor in Asian studies. Our next graduate is Gray Orr. Our next graduate has been at UPrep for 7 years. He was known for his enthusiastic participation in history class debates, his dedication to programming, and his occasional contributions to the yearbook as a photographer. But perhaps his most significant achievement was his success as a 4-year varsity rower and team captain at Pocock Rowing Center. He will be attending Williams College, where he plans to pursue a dual major in economics and computer science while continuing his rowing career. Our next graduate is Chris Pullman. Our next graduate has excelled in both sports and in academics. She was a 3-year varsity soccer and tennis player and a 4-year varsity basketball player. Other achievements include being a member of the National Spanish Honor Society and UPrep's Water First Club. Additionally, she worked as a camp counselor at Carkey Park during the summer. One of her most cherished moments at UPrep was becoming the middle school girls' D2 basketball coach this year and leading them to their first recorded win against SAS. Studying marine biology at the University of Oregon, our next graduate is Charlotte Posel. Creative and analytical, this Puma has been commended for her thoughtful writing on challenging and risky topics. She dedicated a lot of time and effort to develop as an artist and is proud of thriving in quantitative physics and other demanding classes. She's glad that her lifelong friendships with Abby and Kay started in the library and middle school. For service, she earned many volunteer hours at Woodland Park Zoo camps and the Seattle Humane Society Teen Club program. Combining her love for art and engineering at the University of Washington, our next graduate is Sofia Guadalupe Pozzo. Your fans. A Puma since 6th grade, she has been a part of soccer, basketball, ultimate frisbee, and track teams. She is also a member of the National Honor Society. She spent 7 years with the Water First International Youth Board, first as a global fellow and then as the youth board chair. Next year, she will pursue her STEM interest at Colorado College, where she plans to major in neuroscience. Our next graduate is Mia Predmore. Throughout his time at UPrep, he dedicated himself to the community and the baseball team, while also showing up to all the basketball games to support his friends. In addition to making the playoffs in fantasy football, he is proud of the movie he made in film studies and of the 3rd place win at state his junior year with the baseball team. Attending Wake Forest next year to study business, our next graduate is Nat Reed. Our next graduate spent his 4 years at UPrep exploring many different hobbies and classes. He discovered his love for science, taking 11 semesters of science classes and electives. Outside of school, he has spent 14 years playing piano and has spent the last 8 years sailing with his father. He recently completed Swiftsure, a multi-day sailing race across the Strait of Juan de Fuca. Attending Franklin and Marshall, majoring in biology and minoring in physics, our next graduate is Benjamin Marley Sill Reichert. Our next graduate is an award-winning filmmaker and a mental health advocate, serving on UPrep's Mental Health Advisory Board and associated student body for the past 4 years. She is a company member and teacher at All That Dance and a member of the National Honor Society's dance chapter. One of her most memorable experiences was hiking through the American West with the traveling school during the fall semester of her junior year. Attending the University of Southern California's School of Cinematic Arts to study film production, our next graduate is Claire Rentschler.
Getting there. This next graduate has a passion for backcountry skiing and palm trees. His favorite classes at UPrep were film studies and lifetime activities. He has volunteered with the Washington Trails Association throughout his time in high school, and although self-deprecating, he is a conscientious leader in our school community. He looks forward to studying marine biology at the University of San Diego next year. Our next graduate is Talby Roach. This senior is a creative and hardworking student and artist. She is a proud leader of the Creative Arts Society, where she helped bring back Coffee House. Her time at UPrep has consisted of playing volleyball for 3 years, performing in Music Day, and being a National Honor Society member. Outside of school, she is most proud of being part of School of Rock, where she played piano and covered classic rock music. With plans to attend Scripps College and study psychology, our next graduate is Delia Rossi. His longtime soccer coach complimented him as an intuitive player, and this 4-year varsity defender was thrilled to go to state as a freshman and serve as a senior co-captain. Keeping Miss AJ and Miss Teo on their toes with his varying arrival times, his advisory was always happy to see his infectious smile when he rolled in. Academically, he was proud of getting mostly A's in math and creating a Drake art piece as a final project. After school and sports, he prepared food truck dinners and was glad to hand out meals after his shift. Heading to Tulane University, our next graduate is Will Rothman. This senior has spent many late nights in the North Lab as editor-in-chief of the yearbook. Outside of UPrep, he served as regional president of his Jewish youth group, BBYO. His favorite moments of high school were skit night at the senior retreat, dissecting a pig in anatomy, and traveling to Anaheim for a yearbook conference. He will be attending the University of Southern California to major in international relations. Our next graduate is Maxwell J. Rubenstein. Our next graduate is proud of his academic and athletic achievements, maintaining high grades while participating in track and field and cross country at UPrep, all while earning multiple scuba certifications, running the Chicago Marathon, and working on his pilot's license. His most memorable upper school moment was throwing a discus so poorly that it nearly hit a car parked next to Doll Field. Attending the United States Naval Academy, our next graduate is Diego Ruberalto Padilla. This senior arrived as a freshman and has thoroughly enjoyed his time in the UPrep community. His favorite UPrep memory was the senior camping trip in the fall of 2022. Outside of class, he spends his time ski racing for Stevens Pass Alpine Club and working as a sailing instructor at Seattle Yacht Club in the summertime. Next year, he will be attending the University of Colorado Boulder to study engineering. Our next graduate is Riley Schmidt. She is proud of her time as a student at UPrep after moving from Puerto Rico for 8th grade. She has been involved in the Puma Press for 3 years. She is most proud of attending the Island School in the Bahamas junior year. She has participated in track and field all 4 years and tried cross country for the first time her senior year. During upper school, she volunteered over 100 hours at Family Works Food Bank. Attending Colorado College and majoring in biology on the pre-med track, our next graduate is Emma Sofia Sorales. This next graduate is most proud of her work on the Puma Press, as she has been on staff for 4 years. She wrote stories and redesigned the website as one of the web editors-in-chief. She is an active member of the Black Student Union and has acted as one of the co-chairs for media and print. During her junior year, she did a semester away in Viterbo, Italy, where she learned Italian and volunteered at the Mensa Caritas, a local soup kitchen. She is grateful to her family and the Rainier Scholars community for supporting her throughout her time at UPrep. Attending Cornell University in the fall and studying chemical engineering, our next graduate is Lubna Asma Shego. This next student is obviously my favorite student at UPrep. Talented in flute, piano, K-pop dance, and giving serious side-eye, she is sweet beyond measure, but not afraid to call it like she sees it. Not only is she grateful for the friends she has made and the time spent with them in the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging Office, she fondly remembers her time at the Student Diversity Leadership Conference and on Global Link Taiwan. She'd like to thank Iche Lin for caring so deeply and her parents for their unwavering support. Attending George Washington University's Elliott School of International Affairs, our next graduate is my kid, Tuesday Nabi Son.
This next student is proud of his academic achievements and his role as an outstanding distance runner in the cross country. At UPrep, he has fond memories of being on the senior retreat and talking with his friends. Joining our community in 9th grade, one experience that stands out to him is canvassing for Leah Griffin's political campaign in the summer before 12th grade. A Rainier Scholar, he will be attending the University of Washington and majoring in history. Our next graduate is Ashutosh Thapa. This next graduate has been a part of the UPrep community since 6th grade. She is proud of playing basketball and volleyball at UPrep for the past 4 years. Her best memories are a fun day, performing Thriller for the Halloween Assembly, and listening to Mr. Chestnut's stories in math class. She has loved her advisory and will be attending Texas Christian University to major in business. Our next graduate is Paige Victoria Thorson. This graduate joined University Prep in 9th grade. A proud Rainier Scholar, he enjoyed learning new things and being part of this community. Some of his favorite classes were Spanish and data and analytics. Unable to join us this evening, we celebrate Lisa Tufa. As our next graduate donned his cap and gown, memories of his journey through UPrep flooded his mind. From the 8th grade camping trip to varsity baseball triumphs and football festivities, he has left his mark. He will never forget the trip to Yakima for baseball playoffs, the camaraderie with teammates, and the pride of helping Lincoln varsity football to playoffs. He's also a proud member of the French National Honor Society. Attending Florida State University in the fall, our next graduate is Julian Van Dusen. Our next graduate is an artist, designer, and musician. He has played bass in the orchestra and jazz band and is a self-taught piano player. He has worked his way into the animation industry through his pilot animation film, A Day After Life, and will continue to write and illustrate stories for the world to hear. During his time at UPrep, this student could always be found working in some nook or cranny or playing piano in the music room. Attending Harvey Mudd College in the fall, our next graduate is Sam Wheeler. Dedicated to all her classes, she helped redesign UPrep Media as co-editor-in-chief of the Puma Press. She contributed many articles over her high school years, including coverage of her semester traveling with the Elsauer School. The Marimba Intensive was extremely fun and gave her the opportunity to bond with students of all grades. She's volunteered for the National Charity League, Ruby Room, and University District Food Bank, and is proud of being a National Honor Society officer. Pursuing business at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, our next graduate is Annabelle Lee Wickham. Our next graduate looks back fondly on his time at UPrep as a UPrep soccer player. His team's impressive second-place finish in the state tournament last year remains a highlight of his high school career. But it's the camaraderie he experienced with his teammates during the long bus rides and hotel stays that he treasures the most. With the Naval ROTC National Scholarship in hand, he's excited to join the University of Southern California and pursue his academic passions in economics and mathematics. Our next graduate is Joshua Yee. This graduate played 4 years of varsity tennis and was a captain in his senior year. He is proud to have volunteered for North Helpline and served as a member of the Mental Health Advisory Board. One of his favorite memories was the 8th grade camping trip, and he will miss the time spent with friends at school over these years. Attending Wake Forest University in the fall, our next graduate is Trevor Flynn Zell. A 4-year cross-country and track athlete who also served as an Associated Student Body grade representative for 7 years, this Puma is proud of improving her academics every semester, interning at a hospital, volunteering at church, and having a job selling cupcakes. She will fondly remember senior retreat and camp day. As a leader of the multiracial affinity group, she emphasized the importance of diversity and inclusivity and will carry those values to Santa Clara University, where she will study business and French. Our last graduate is Sophie Zadolski.
I met our next speaker when he landed in my Spanish 4 class as a freshman. Back then, he used to make questionable choices that made me interrupt class and seize the teachable moment. Since then, he has become a friend and a close ally. His vivacity, engagement, and enthusiasm for learning make him a respected leader, and he has been chosen by his peers to narrate to all of you some of the experiences lived by the class of 2023. Please welcome Max Rubenstein.
Good evening, everyone. Class of 2023, congratulations. The first week of our freshman year, Raj and Miss Nay showed us a TED Talk called The Danger of a Single Story by author Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. They prefaced that as historians, it was our duty to tell the stories of those who cannot tell their own. And in 19 minutes, Adichie offered a beautiful warning that we as individuals are impressionable and vulnerable in the face of a story. The stories we see and hear every day shape our perceptions of the world, and for that reason, a singular story may lead to overgeneralizations and stereotypes, restricting our view of a perhaps infinitely bigger picture. In short, when, where, and how we tell stories matters. And today, at a moment that we are met with one of the greatest triumphs of our lives so far, the ultimate chapter of our UPrep careers, I have the honor of telling you the story of how we got here. When we first walked through the front doors, just as heavy today as they were 7 years ago, we were only 11 years old. Middle school presented us an opportunity to learn, to experiment, and to gain a broader understanding of the world around us. Our story was just beginning, and these chapters, marked by newfound independence, played pivotal roles in the people we are today. We rode the Metro bus home, we flipped bottles, made slime, and played with fidget spinners. Not only did teachers take our phones, we imprinted our legacy by getting phones banned permanently, and I deeply apologize for that one. We launched homemade rockets, awkwardly slow danced to Ed Sheeran's Perfect, made 20-page lexicons for history tests, and spent an unimaginable amount of hours at U Village. From blue days to 7-period, 7-day rotations to intensives, by 8th grade, we were no strangers to change. Upper school once again opened the door to new possibilities. As our plot thickened and verbiage became more complex, what was once an E now became an A, introducing us to a world of pluses and minuses. We pursued discovery and thrived on aha moments, the priceless feeling of being onto something. Through experimentation, we realized freshmen don't sit in the lower commons, and through collaboration, we submitted our African Kingdoms project just minutes before it was due. Suddenly, the story we expected, riddled with routine and tradition, permanently changed. We handled over 2 years of pandemic-related destruction with grace and grit. By the time we returned, the chapters had become repetitive, our high school years tedious. Magnus mobile health checks, weekly COVID tests, eating in the freezing rain. Our story had shifted, no longer about finding independence, but about not taking any moment for granted, knowing that a happy ending is not always guaranteed. But over the last 2 years, the key themes changed again, now with an emphasis on community, the we before the I. We cheered on our volleyball and basketball teams in the Puma Dome, holding the grade flag high and proud. We built connections during senior circle and wondered not when it would be over, but why didn't I talk to that person sooner? We watched the sunrise over Magnuson Park, a symbol of fresh beginnings. We crafted the school's worst nightmare, a hyperbole for conflicts we have faced during our time at UPrep. We burned rejection letters, a metaphor for letting go of spaces where we aren't accepted and fully embracing the ones where we are. When I lost Senior Assassin during the La Palma massacre, I was very upset for a few days, but I couldn't quite put my finger on why. Many of you reminded me that it was just a game, but for whatever reason, it felt like something so much bigger. What I've realized from that experience and many others is that our grade is not just a collection of zany characters and wacky crossover episodes, but a beautiful book, perhaps one of the greatest I will read in my lifetime. In his 1955 novel, East of Eden, John Steinbeck writes that we all only have one story. All novels, all poetry are built on the never-ending contest in ourselves of good and evil. Steinbeck argues two things: that we are the authors of our own tale, and that every story in human history captures the internal struggle between good and evil. But, Miss Yuan, I do not think it is so black and white. For one, when I think of our story, I can't tell you whether we chose good or succumbed to evil, but I can say that our story's central theme, our holy grail, was resilience. From computer to classroom, from freshman to farm table, from geography to graduation, we did not waver in the face of adversity. We do not avoid, we confront, we do not hide, we seek. Every single one of us has faced challenges that appeared insurmountable, and yet, here we are. The chapters that seemed to tear us apart somehow only made us stronger, and that has nothing to do with good and evil and everything to do with perseverance. Secondly, ultimately, we may be the scribes of our own stories, but we would be naive to forget the pages we helped each other write, like signatures in a yearbook. In fact, there is no single story. Written over the course of 7 years, told by 85 voices, hopefully we are safe from the restricted worldview that Adichie feared. Now, here you are, cramming every last word into the margins and soaking up the last few drops of ink out of a jar that once upon a time overflowed with potential. When we leave this room today, the great American novel aptly titled East of the Pea Patch comes to an end. It has lived in the bottom of your backpack for many years, and I know it may be stained, pages missing, sentences written and rewritten, but take that book and put it on the shelf, somewhere where it will always be seen, because our story only becomes dangerous when there is no one there to tell it. Thank you.
Thank you, Max, for weaving together that story of your graduating class and so aptly naming it East of the Pea Patch. Parents, thank you. Thank you for your continued partnership and trust. UPrep would not be a thriving community without your support. Thank you, trustees and founders, for continuing to keep UPrep a place that lives out its mission and for remaining committed to the promise that UPrep will develop each child's potential for greatness. Thank you, faculty and staff, for each day rising to the call to educate these young students in times when your very profession is questioned. This is one of the hardest jobs in the world because every day you're dealing with the heart and mind of someone else. I also want to take this opportunity to briefly thank a special member of our community this evening. 15,258 days ago, he was hired at this young upstart school called University Preparatory Academy. Since then, he has left an indelible mark on this community, on the hundreds of students he mentored, and on the adults who were lucky enough to call him a friend. If you have been as lucky as me to sit in his office in the theater and chat with him about any manner of things, you will know that he, too, is a storyteller, someone who takes great pride in telling authentic stories of the things that were and the things that could have been. While it would be impossible to tell his full, authentic story tonight, I leave you with one brief quote that I believe summarizes how we all feel about him. The great Judy Garland once said, "Always be a first-rate version of yourself instead of a second-rate version of someone else." So, Paul Fleming, thank you for being so authentic, so honest, and so first-rate. Congratulations on your retirement. Okay, and now seniors, thank you. I want to leave you with just two brief quotes. Number one, remember that the best things in your life haven't even happened yet. You have achieved so much during your time here, but let us not forget that the greatest moments of your lives are still waiting to unfold. The friendships you have forged, the knowledge you have gained, and the experiences you have had are merely a glimpse of what the future holds. Each of you is a vessel of immense potential, destined to embark on a path filled with countless opportunities, personal growth, and extraordinary achievements. So as you set forth into the world beyond the confines of UPrep and many of you beyond Seattle, embrace the thrilling uncertainty that lies before you, knowing that the most remarkable chapters of your lives are yet to be written. And number 2, what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny compared to what lies within us. Never forget the immense value of your personal integrity and inner character. The qualities and principles you hold within yourselves, honesty, compassion, moral courage, are keys to living a purposeful life. Your inner strength and moral compass are the true measure of your worth and your potential. That will be the foundation on which you build your lives and make a positive impact on the world. After all, when you go to write your own story of your life, you want to be able to say you stayed true to yourself. So now, seniors, please stand. Yeah, wow, look at that aesthetic. All right, seniors, I want you to turn around and applaud your family. And the faculty and staff who have always supported you. Okay, and now it's time. As you stand there facing the world, please turn your tassels from right to left. Congratulations, you are now members of the class of 2023 graduates. You may throw your hats in the air. 1, 2, 3.